now. It's great to see all of you. Welcome to our Scouters Mountain virtual welcoming registration night. It's so great to see you. We have, and I'm a little bit biased, so I'm Curtis Long. I'm the principal here. It's my 3rd year at Scouters Mountain. So when you come to school next fall, it'll be my 4th year. I'm so glad to see all of you, and I'm a little bit biased, but I think we have the best kindergarten teachers all around. You won't find any better, and all 3 of them are on our screen right now. So I'll let them introduce themselves, and then we'll get started, and we'll see if they can do it without stepping on each other. Who's going first between the 3 of them? All right, we'll do it in alphabetical order. So Miss Lawrence, you're up first.
Can you hear me? Is it okay?
We hear you.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Miss Lawrence. I'm so excited to finally see your faces, and I hope you're as excited as I am to start kindergarten.
And Miss Myers, you're up next.
Hi, friends. It's so nice to see all of you. I'm very excited to see you guys all come next year. You're going to have so much fun in kindergarten.
And then Miss Neal.
Hi, everyone. It's so wonderful to see you guys. I can't wait to see you guys in person. You guys are going to have a blast. Kindergarten's the best.
Yeah, we are so excited to see all of you. Thank you for attending tonight. I know this is kind of an unconventional way to be introduced to the teachers and the principal, but it's kind of what we've been dealing with all year. And for those of you that have older siblings that are already in school, you know how this works. So what we will do, I will go through my slide presentation. If you have questions, feel free to save those to the very end, and I'll turn off the recording so we can kind of have a free conversation at the end with any questions that you might have. So what I'd like to do is cover what to expect as we come into next year. Hopefully, all of you have registered your kindergartner already. If you haven't, that's perfectly okay. You have plenty of time to do that. All of the information that you'll need to register is on our school website. So if you know how to get to our school website, you can Google that or go to the North Clackamas website and go to a drop-down menu for our school at Scouters Mountain. All of the information for kindergarten registration, it's on a big headline across the top. You can't miss it. So as we move forward, let's see here. I want to make sure some info about our school right now. So we currently enroll about 350 students, and I will tell you we're getting bigger and bigger. For those of you that are familiar with our area, we used to be, up until last year, we were about 500 students, and we were getting bigger and bigger. So the new elementary school, Beatrice Morrow Kennedy, was built just down our road, and that opened last year, and it opened with about 300 of our kids who formerly went here, and about half of our staff went there as well. So they are good friends of ours right down the road at Kennedy, but because of all the construction around school, and I'm at school right now, we anticipate we're going to be just as big as we were before very, very soon. So we're growing. We have about 350. Right now, I would say we're expecting, you met our 3 kindergarten teachers. We are expecting 3 kindergarten classrooms next year, so another 3 rooms. We never really know if we're going to have 2 or 3 or possibly 4. Right now, it looks like 3 kindergarten classrooms. And then my last bullet point says, is it going to be all in person? Is it going to be the hybrid that we're doing now? Is it going to be some kind of combination? I really wish I could sit here and tell you exactly what next year is going to look like in the fall. We just don't know yet. That is up to the governor, of course, and the CDC and our superintendent to decide what our school year will look like. We have been told that we are hoping and anticipating a full in-person learning experience when the fall comes around, when September comes around, but I can't tell you definitively. You can't come back in September and say, but Mr. Long, you promised we would be back full time, because we just don't know that answer yet. So that's where we are right now. If I move along here, you met these 3 important faces. So Miss Lawrence, Miss Myers, and Mrs. Neal are all on screen with you. You can probably see them. One of those 3 will likely be your teacher. But again, things happen in the summertime. We never know. Who knows? Maybe Miss Myers will all of a sudden be teaching 5th grade and Miss Neal will have 4th grade. We just don't know. Who knows? So that is who is slated to teach kindergarten as of right now. So we'll see how that works out. Here's some other people important to know. Those are the 2 ladies that you will, when you call the school office or when you come visit the school office, Those are the two friendly faces you'll most likely see. Mrs. Zach is our secretary. It's a very easy name to remember and to say. Unfortunately, our assistant secretary, not so easy to spell or to say. That's Mrs. Eichhoff. So those two are in the office. So anytime that you need to come visit the office, whether you need to turn something in, maybe you're running something to the office for your teacher, that's the friendly faces that you see. And parents, when you call our main office, you're likely talking to Mrs. Zach or Miss Eichhoff. Sometimes I barge in and answer the phones, but I don't know how to transfer to rooms. And I get in more trouble when I answer the phone than I should. So I usually don't answer it as often. Also, that guy on the left, pay no attention to him. He doesn't know what in the world he's doing. We let him hang around the school. That's me. I'm the principal here. So Mr. Long, that's my name. And so I am in charge of, for kids who aren't sure, what's a principal do? I'm in charge of making sure that you're always safe at our school and that you're happy at our school and that I have everything, that your teachers have everything they need to do their job. It's my job to make sure they have all the materials and they have all the things they need. And then the person on the right, that's Mrs. Bell, our school counselor. We're very lucky that we have a full-time counselor at our school, and she's a great person to talk to. Maybe if you're feeling sad or you're feeling nervous about something. Mrs. Bell does lots of lessons in each classroom about feelings and how to help you with those feelings. So you'll see Mrs. Bell quite a bit in our school. She rotates around to each classroom as well. So those are some important people to know. Here's some things for parents. Is your child eligible for kindergarten? How many of you kids on the screen, hold up a 5 to me if you are 5 years old? How many of you are 5 years old? I see lots of them up there. If you're 5 years old right now, you're old enough to be in kindergarten. After the summertime, you can come here for kindergarten when you're 5. Some of you might be having a birthday this summer. If your birthday is coming up in a few more months or maybe over the summertime, you're going to be 5 in time too, just in time for kindergarten. So we're very excited to have you. So the rule is you have to be 5 either on or before September 1st. So if you turn 5 before September 1st, you're eligible for kindergarten. Now, we hope you're all in the right spot and you've maybe called our school or checked with a realtor or however you know. There is a link on the district website to make sure you're in the right attendance area, because where you go to school is based on where you live. So maybe you might live in a neighborhood that already has some Scouters Mountain kids. If you do, then you're in the right spot because those kids come to our school. That means you would come to our school too. But if you're unsure, there's a link there on the website, and we will also post it. We'll post this presentation where you could click on it as well. So then let's make sure. What is our kindergarten program? I'm going to talk a little bit, but I'm going to ask Miss Lawrence and Miss Myers and Mrs. Neal maybe to stop me once in a while if there's things they want to add, because they know kindergarten better than I do. I usually come in and just kind of bug the teachers and joke around with the kids. They're trying to do the hard work of teaching you guys. So what is our kindergarten program? And you can see there, I don't need to read the whole thing, but it says that we'll have age-appropriate learning that will include daily learning, some structured play. All of your kids will go to music twice a week. You have a half-hour music class, a half-hour PE class once a week. You get to visit the library once a week for a half an hour. And you also have a health and wellness class that you get to go to with our health and wellness teacher. That's once a week as well. So there's lots of different things that you get to do as kindergartners. And age appropriate, and I know some of you may be wondering or maybe worried a little bit, is my child ready for kindergarten? I promise you they are. They're ready to be here. If you're worried about, but wait a minute, my child doesn't know all their letters yet, or my child can read chapter books. That's fine. We will take your child wherever they come to us, and we will help them improve their skills, whatever level they are. That's the great thing about our school, is we have a very diverse range of learners. And don't be nervous if you're not sure you know all your sounds yet or all your letters. That's why you're coming to school, so we can learn together. So we're happy to have you. And what is it like today? So today, as of today, we had kindergarten here at school, and it's a little bit different because of our current health situation. We have students arriving on a bus and some walk. We have one neighborhood right next door to us. Wednesdays are days that our office is all remote learning. And remote learning means that you're doing all your learning from home. That's on Wednesdays. And teachers are doing a lot of planning. They're meeting with me. They're looking over data to make sure that they're getting the results they're hoping for with their students. And so as I mentioned before, as of today, we have 2 cohorts in every grade level. So there's cohort A and there's cohort B. Kids in cohort A come to school live in person from 8:45 to 11:45 on Mondays and Tuesdays. And then the kids in cohort B, their classmates who are in cohort B, they jump in on the computer, and the teacher teaches them on the computer in the afternoon. And then it flip-flops on Thursdays, on Thursdays and Fridays. On Thursdays and Fridays, cohort B comes in person to school from 8:45 to 11:45. And then the cohort A kids who got to come to school earlier in the week in person, they go online and learn with the teacher in the afternoon. It's kind of confusing when you hear it out loud, but the kids get the hang of it. And I hope we don't have to use that schedule next year. Next year, we're really hoping everyone will be here full days in person all day long. So that's what we're hoping for. Also, what does our classroom look like now? So here's a picture of Miss Lawrence's room today. Notice how spaced out the kids are. We figured that it would be much better for the kids to have some space on the floor. They didn't have to sit at a desk the entire time. So you can see that Miss Lawrence has provided lots of space, and it's this way in all of our kindergarten classrooms. So they're working on the crates right there when they need something hard to write on. They're moving around a little bit, but you can see with the blue tape the area that they have to work in. So everyone is maintaining at least 6 feet of social distancing at all times. You can see the masks on their faces. You can see those blue lines. That's for adults to follow as well. Even when I come visit the room, I have to make sure I stay on those blue lines. So we're honoring everyone's social distancing at all times. So that's what it looks like today. Will it look like that in September? We don't know. We hope it'll be back to tables and kids working cooperatively at tables, but we just don't know that yet. So I wanted to give you a picture of what it looks like today. So in prior years, before this year, and going into next year, whenever we're ready to go back to full-time learning, you will have the option of either taking a school bus or walking to school, or if parents like to drive their kids to school, of course, you can do that as well. We have a nice big parent drop-off area if you'd like to drive your student to school and pick up. In prior years, of course, we've had a full-day program. Some of you may remember times when kindergarten was only half the day, and there was a group that came in the morning and a group that came in the afternoon. We don't have that anymore. The kindergartners go the full day, just like all the other kids, and they have a snack break and a lunchtime and 2 recesses. Usually at our school, it's a recess in the morning where they get to go use the playground, and then there's one right after lunch. And then after that, they're back in their classroom until the end of the day. And you can see at the bottom, there are different areas of study. So we have, of course, literacy, math, science, social studies, social emotional learning. That's where we're learning how to handle our feelings. And what do we do if someone makes us mad or makes us happy? How do we pay someone a compliment? How do we tell them how we're feeling? And then, as I mentioned before, you'll have PE and music and health and wellness and time in the library. So that's what it's looked like in the past. Of course, it's a little bit different today, but we hope to, as soon as we are able to, we'll go back to this option here where we have all these things available for our kindergartners. So here's what a classroom looked like before all of this happened. Now, we kind of cheated a little bit. Don't get too paranoid. That's actually 2 classrooms in the room at once. One of the classrooms was visiting, and you can see the young child at the bottom who has a mask on. We don't make kids wear like cow masks at all times. They were performing a play for the other group. So you can see the kids walking around with little masks. We don't always do that, but that would be kind of fun if we had the kindergartners wear funny masks all the time. But that was just, they were performing a play. So that's actually 2 rooms at once. But you can see the tables are set up, and that's how we like to structure our kindergarten rooms, where kids can sit together and work cooperatively at a table. So that's what it would look like in a typical school year. So that's from last year. And here's another example here of carpet time, where we like to bring the kids to the carpet. We're not going to have kids sit at a table all day long as if it's a college lecture and have them sit there. So here they're coming to the carpet, and it looks to me like, Miss Lawrence, this was your room last year. It looks like they were busy engineering some kind of car and seeing how far it could roll. Is that what they were doing?
Yeah, we did a science investigation. We made our own cars from some found materials, and then we were testing them to see whose was fastest.
Whose was fastest and whose could roll the farthest. That was fun to watch. And you can see the kids there. The carpet squares, those dots, are a really common area for kindergarten and first graders. Even second grade, we use a lot of carpet time where kids have some time to be up out of their seat and easily converse with each other and share their ideas. Here's some other things going on at a kindergarten room. So you can see the student on the left who's kind of reading the wall and pointing things out to kids and sounding words out for his classmates. And then on the right, notice the computer. I wanted to make sure I showed you that. We are at a point, or at least we were before these latest health situation, where every student, whether you were in kindergarten all the way up to 5th grade, had access to a Chromebook all day long. Now, we don't use those all day long. We're not going to have you sit in front of a Chromebook all day long, but we do have those at our disposal. And our teachers, especially after this year, have gotten super, super creative about how to use technology and integrate it into the classroom. It's kind of been their job this past year. So if they weren't very good at technology before, they are now. They can do lots of stuff that I can't even imagine. I don't know how they do it when I come visit. I don't know how they do that stuff. But you can see, I wanted to make sure that you realize that we do use technology here at school, and your student will have access to a Chromebook or a laptop or an iPad, whatever we choose to use there. So as I move right along, let's see. So what will kindergarten be like in the fall of 2021? As I've mentioned throughout our presentation, we're hopeful that we will return to a full day schedule. We don't know that for sure yet. We're hopeful. And as I said before, the Oregon Health Authority and the governor of Oregon will guide our decision making. Registering early will ensure you receive timely information. As I mentioned, as people were logging on at the beginning, I was asking, if you're registered, you should be getting all those emails from me. I do a lot of communicating home with families, so you're probably receiving a lot of those emails almost every other day or so, because we like to keep our families updated about what's going on. So if you haven't registered, all of the information you'll need for registration is on our school website. And then if you're still having trouble finding it, you can always call us here at school. That's on our school website, and I'll show you that number toward the end of my presentation too. So please register early. Registering early really helps us, because remember when I mentioned at the beginning, we're not sure yet if we'll have 2 kindergarten teachers or 3 kindergarten teachers or 4. We just don't know until we know for sure how many kids are coming to our school. So the more people that register early, the better it is for us to make an accurate prediction of how many teachers we'll need. Because it's kind of a bummer if we get to a certain point where we have classrooms pretty crowded, and then at the very last minute, the good news is we get to add a teacher, but it might be over the holiday weekend before school starts. And that means that all the calls that we made home, we'll have to call you again and say, yo, remember when I told you would have Miss Myers for a teacher? Well, guess what? Now you have Miss Neal, because we switched things around a little bit. So we don't want to have to make those calls if we can avoid them or not. So the earlier you can register, the better. Here's a little video right here that I can play for you. And it talks about registration and what kindergarten looks like. Let's see what it looks like. Now, the voice on it may sound familiar. This is something from the school district, so hopefully you can all hear it okay if I play it. Can you hear it? North Clackamas schools are excited to register kindergarten students for the 2021-2022 school year. We encourage all North Clackamas families with children who will be 5 years old on or before September 1st, 2021 to register for kindergarten. Registering before June 1st helps children, families, and staff prepare for a smooth transition into the school setting. Early registration gives schools and families a chance to get to know each other so they can work together in a partnership that supports each child. Our kindergarten program provides a playful, caring, challenging, and child and family-centered start in school. All students will participate in an age-appropriate full-day program that will include daily learning and structured play, a lunch period, and weekly instruction from music, physical education, and health and wellness teachers. You can register online by going to our district website, www.nclac.k12.or.us, and clicking on the About Us tab, then selecting Enroll Your Student. You can also find registration information on each individual school's webpage. Are you unsure about which elementary school you should enroll in? We can help with that too. Go to www.nclac.k12.or.us, About Us, and select School Boundaries. You will be guided to use the Metro Map application. Your neighborhood school is based on your residential address. If you have any questions or need help, you may call the telephone number of your neighborhood school. It is important that you leave a message with your name and contact telephone number. A school staff member will return your call as soon as possible. Or you may send an email to the school principal and they will reach out to you directly. Again, contact information can be found on the district or school website. We are looking forward to having your child in our schools next school year, so register now to provide the best possible transition for your child. Kindergarten is an exciting time in a child's life. Help spread the word about online registration throughout the North Clackamas School District community. We look forward to meeting you and welcoming you into our schools. Okay. Let me get that off of there. No, we already heard this. Stop North Clackamas schools are excited to... There we go. Okay, that guy's voice is annoying. I don't know why the district continues to use that guy, but he's annoying. Did you recognize that voice? That's a familiar voice to our teachers for sure. I think they're sick of hearing that voice too. So let's move on ahead. Oops, sorry. No, I don't want to hear him anymore. There we go. All right, so some of you may be wondering, what does my kindergarten need to be ready? And as I mentioned before, basically you just need to be 5 years old before or on September 1st. And no matter how much you know or you don't know, we're excited to have you at our school. But our teachers came up with some of these ideas of things to work on maybe from now until September. And you can see the list there: following two-step directions, sharing and taking turns, using the restroom independently, washing your own hands, managing strong emotions. All of us get angry sometimes, or sad, or really super happy. We want to make sure that we're able to manage that at school. Make sure that you can handle zippers and buttons and shoelaces, but I'm pretty good at tying shoes. If shoes come unlaced, we're pretty good at it here at school. Taking responsibility for your actions. So if you spill something in the cafeteria, then you help clean it up, or you offer to. And for lunchtime and for snack time, make sure that you're able to open your food. The student can open the wrapper and eat within 15 minutes at snack time. And at lunch, that goes pretty quick as well. So those are good ideas of things to be ready for. These are things about learning to read. If you're curious about what kinds of things can I do over the summertime as September approaches, and you can see those things there. There's all different kinds of things you can do to help your student become a better reader as they enter kindergarten. But you know what? If your kid only knows a few words, that's okay. If your child can read at a third grade level, that's okay too. We'll take them wherever they are. We're happy they're a part of our school. Here's some more academic skills that we wanted to go over that we'll cover in the school year. So as you look at these and you think, oh my goodness, my child doesn't know how to do that, or oh my goodness, my child can already do those kind of things, that's fine either way. We're going to, if your child already knows how to do that, we'll take them further. If they don't, we'll make sure that they get all of the attention and teaching they need to be able to do that kind of stuff. Oh gosh, all right, who in the world is that? People to know at our, you may have seen him in the video, and those of you that have older siblings at school, you may have heard about that guy. That guy is a pain in my backside. He shows up in kindergarten. Sometimes we don't know he's coming. He comes on all the days that end in 0. So day 10, day 20, day 30, day 40. And he doesn't ask permission for me to come in. And he goes right to classrooms and he makes them count by tens and count and count. He really enjoys that. You want to see? Oh my goodness, there he is. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. Oh, 110. So he came on day 110. Notice I'm nowhere near that. I don't know how that guy snuck in there. He is a pain. Sometimes I see him up on the flagpole. Sometimes I see him out on the playground. He's always in our business there. So you got to watch out for Zero the Hero at our school. As I mentioned before, any questions that you may have, there's our main number. which you can find on our website, or if you want to write it down now, there's email addresses, which you can also find on our website. I'm very lucky to work with two fantastic secretaries in the office. They will get right back to you and be able to answer your question, most likely right there on the phone if you have a question about what's going on, or maybe you're having trouble with part of the registration process. If you needed to talk to Miss Bell, our counselor, or to me, there's my direct number right there and our email addresses. And again, you can find all of this on the school website as well. So what should we do now before September? Well, I would say, I think a lot of you are already doing this, having daily routines and bedtimes. We put this presentation together in August last time. So that's after the summertime when you're not used to going to bed at a certain time probably. But as you get closer to kindergarten in September, you want to get used to going to bed at a special time so you get lots of sleep the night before. I would still say we want to make sure you're reading every day or having someone read to you. So you're hearing lots of books. Set up a kindergarten workspace or a place for materials. So if you want to practice what you're learning, you have a spot at home that you can do that, whether that's in your bedroom or at the kitchen table or somewhere that's just for you that you can work on your kindergarten skills. And the most important thing is to be excited. Get excited about you finally get to come to school. I know some of you have really been waiting, especially those of you that have older brothers and sisters. We're so excited that it's your turn to finally come to our school. So we're very, very excited to have you. Families, if you want to stay connected, I know lots of you are getting information already. I'd encourage you to join our PTA. We have a wonderful PTA that is very, very supportive. Keep the school website handy. There's the address right there. And you can find us in a couple of places on Facebook. We have a page for Scouters Mountain Elementary. We also have a page that was started by some families, the Scouters Mountain families. And then look for messages. Right now it says School Messenger. That's going to change to a new program over the summer called Parent Square. So if you see something from Parent Square over the summer, that's what that is. That's our messaging system that each elementary school will use. Right now it's called School Messenger, but it'll change to something called Parent Square over the summertime. Okay, I believe now, do I have anything else left? We're glad. Oh, did you guys know this? Did you know what our mascot is, what our students are called? Like some schools are maybe the Owls or the Wolves or the Hawks. Do you know what we are? We are the Coyotes. So we do a lot of howling at assemblies, and you'll see that coyote quite a bit around school. In fact, we have a lot of coyotes painted around our school. You'll see lots of them. So that is the end of my presentation. We're so happy you are a part of our school. What I would like to do is stop the recording, if that's okay with everyone, and then I'll open it up for questions. And I don't know how familiar you are with Google. There is a feature on there where you can raise a hand, or if you want to just raise your hand on screen, or you know what, there's not a whole lot of us here. I show 30. If you want to just unmute yourself and ask a question, that's perfectly fine too. And before we go, I want to make sure every child on here gets a chance to introduce themselves and say their name on the screen, because I see so many future Coyotes. I want to make sure I hear from all of them. So what I'll probably do at the very end, because I don't know your names yet, but I will, I promise, I'll call the name that's on the screen. So that's probably mom or dad's name. And then we'll unmute and make sure that you get to say your name to everyone. But first off, let me stop the recording. I'm going to do that now.